What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? And Daniel Esvedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So, welcome to the discussion episode. So, Monday, Tuesday, our there we go, topics. Wednesday, discussion. Thursdays, ask a CISSP, and then Fridays, everything else. So definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. Please forgive all my bad ad reads. They're going to get better as we get real advertisers and marketers on the show. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article actually comes from Wired.com, and this one was actually, it doesn't have who it's written by on this one. I thought it did. My bad. So, here it is. Caroline Haskins. Sorry about that, Caroline. Caroline Haskins wrote this one. So, stadiums are embracing face recognition. Privacy advocates say they should stick to sports. So, when I first saw this, I thought Daniel wrote it, right? It's like telling people to stay in their lane, pretty much is what it was. I was like, Daniel's writing for Wired now. You know what I mean? I had to look it up. No. So, here's the point that's up for discussion, right? So, the reason they do this whole face recognition thing, is to get people in the stadium faster. They have a better experience, right? So like for the teams, you get them into the stadium faster, they can spend their money faster, right? They're buying the food, they're buying the memorabilia, they're buying the the jerseys, the blankets, whatever it may be. So to them, the way they think about it is the money making when it comes to how they get people in these places faster. Now, the point of discussion, right? Because we've talked about this before on the show, is with this information, right? Because they're pretty much doing facial scans of everybody. With this information, what is the next leap before law enforcement is involved and they're like, hey, we need to see this, for an investigation that we're doing, and how easy is it to give up, right? It's kind of a slippery slope here, right? 95% of the people that are attending a sporting event, they just want to get in there fast, right? They don't want to wait in the long lines outside. To any of us that have been to anything, whether it be a concert, sporting event, or anything like that, there can be times where it just takes forever, right? Sporting events have gotten a lot better at it. They're building these stadiums now to where there are multiple entrances around this thing, right? It's not as few as it used to be, you know what I mean? So you can go in through all these places. And they even mentioned in the article here, it takes all of sometimes just 5 minutes, right, for people to get in these venues. But we're getting to the point now where we need it even quicker than that, right? Like 5 minutes is too long now. I could be in there eating a hot dog, some nachos, this brand new cotton candy burrito. I can't remember what place it was that had this. Somebody showed me this at work. It's like, it was a candy burrito. The outside layer was cotton candy, and then it was like M's were on the inside and all this stuff. I was like, yo.
Hard pass.
Look, it was crazy, man. When I saw it, I was like,
hurt.
What? Yeah.
just thinking about it made my teeth hurt.
It made your teeth hurt, but it made your dentist happy. That's the thing, right? Like your dentist is like, this is how I'm gonna get the third house now, right? Like these people messing around with these candy burritos. But I understand there needs to be a balance, right? And I understand there is that step now. And I've said this on the show before, right? Like I'm the Patriot Act guy, right? So if someone is out there doing wrong, right? So when it comes to sporting events, that could be another one. I'm not gonna say it's a soft target, right? Because you almost always have to go through a metal detector or something of those lines, right? Or there's security that's wanding you up and down or whatever, right? But if there's someone there who may have ill intentions, right, especially in this day and age, I want them caught. Like I don't want them there causing mass chaos or anything like that. So like, and I hate to say it like that, right? Like maybe Daniel's rubbing off on me, and I'm becoming the doom and gloom guy too. You know what I mean? I'm joking with you, Daniel. Look, Daniel's a good guy. Everybody, don't put it out there. I've touched the man. I've joked with him. Like he's a good guy, right? Like he's all right. He ain't a bad guy. But no, this is just something that needs to. I think there needs to be more discussion on this, on how they're going to do it, right? So, because if law enforcement does come forward, because I think that's the concern, law enforcement coming forward and asking for this information. We've seen it when it's happened to bigger corporations, even, right? Like, so if you can't fight off the Microsofts, the Googles, the Apples when it comes to law enforcement asking for information, if sometimes they have to give into that, or if sometimes they want to give into that, what's to say this $1 billion owner, right, doesn't want the negative publicity that comes with it if, for whatever reason, they're in the news for what is perceived to be the wrong things. You know what I mean? So this is an interesting topic. And if I'm being honest, I can usually stand on one side or the other. I don't know where I stand with this. I kind of don't. And because like I said, I am the Patriot Act guy. I want people to be caught, but like, I know there is a leap, right? I know there is a section you just don't want to jump over, and it can be abused. You know what I mean? But Daniel, what's your thoughts on
Give me a second. I'm looking for my tin foil to make my hat right now. This is a conspiracy. They're out there to steal our identities. They're going to use my facial recognition to put onto these androids they're making. I don't know. This is, I think the last thing you said there really resonated with me. I feel like I feel the same way. I don't know where I stand on this as either a consumer or a cybersecurity person, professional, non-professional. But yeah, this is a tough one for me because facial recognition, it's being used by a lot of countries already, right? Like China, Russia, Japan, Argentina, and Belarus. They all use it in different facets to police their people at airlines, to do investigations. I think China uses it for their police force and to find people, right? Japan even uses it now for like purchasing, kind of the same way for this, that you can like register your facial recognition so you can just buy at stores tied to your bank account where you don't even need to use your credit card. I don't know if I'd go that far. I feel that makes me more uneasy than convenient for my sake. But for this, I don't know. I can see it both ways. Yeah, cool. You can get into the arena faster. That's awesome. I actually feel like I would like it for the other thing. I'd rather if there was someone that's like wanted and it's like for a murder or someone that they can't find, and for some reason the dude's chilling watching the Yankees play the Sox. Like I want that guy caught by eating a hot dog.
it? Yeah,
I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
yeah.
But I can see people's unease and their privacy. How this is going to be used because it happens with the cell phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's historic cases like you can
Yep.
Google them where there
Yep.
are trials where they try to get AT&T to give them the phone records and things like that, but there's laws that prevent them from doing that because he's an American citizen. I thought that was wrong too, right? I think if the guy is wanted for trial or like there's a good case against him, you should subpoena those things, even though it's anti wiring or anti, I forget what the law, how it falls underneath the Patriot Act or not. Don't take my word on it. I'm sorry. I'm not a law expert, but there's lots of cases out there where this has happened, where the U.S. government department, either FBI or CIA, has tried to request your phone records from AT&T and T and Sprint, and they have had the right to not give it to them. Um, I don't know what they gain by that, by not giving it to the Justice Department. It's not like they're going to lose money or viewership or ownership or people signing up for that, but that's not here or there. So I can see people here saying, well, I don't want that because X, Y, and Z. But in the article, it does say pretty clearly that it's only 100% opt-in.
Mm.
They're not scanning people's faces without consent. It almost seems like it's a special lane or something like that where you sign up for it and then you get it to go in faster. So in that case, I think, as the article is very well written, it says, people see new technology that comes out, the catchy buzz phrase come out, people don't really know and read into it, and then they form these groups to like protest the technology itself or the movement itself, which I think is what's going on here. Either way, as a cybersecurity person, what I'm thinking about is like, how is this information being attained? Where is it being stored? How is it being protected? How easy is it to protect, right? And what happens if that data gets out? What can somebody do with somebody's facial recognition? Right? What are the ramifications of that? That's where my mind goes. But great article, it's very well written, and it's kind of funny to see where this technology goes. Are we gonna have drones flying around the cities trying to find people now? Are people gonna fake other people's faces and then people falsely get arrested? Is this a 9-part series on HBO Max? I don't know. I'm up for all of it, but that's where my mind goes. What about you, Ryan? What are you thinking about this?
No, absolutely. So you kind of drifted into some of the areas I want to talk about. So it's perfect segue.
Nice.
But first, I have to interrupt it with my own commercial. Join the other side of the firewall, where Ryan and co-hosts explore the cutting edge of cybersecurity with a special emphasis on diversity and inclusion. Perfect for newcomers and experts alike, this podcast delivers the key insights you need to navigate the ever-changing landscape of GRC. That could be you. They're getting better and better.
Elon, get on it.
um, yeah, get on it. So people don't cancel me out here, but I'm fine with it. So here's the thing. The reason that I'm fine with it is it's twofold. So one of the companies that's doing this is Clear. So if you
Yep.
fly and
Lie.
you're
Yep.
TSA pre-checked, Guess who's doing it? Clear. And guess what
Clear.
they're using? A combination of facial recognition as well as some other attributes of you to clear you through the line faster. But second part, people fail to realize how frequently their picture is taken. Your
Mhm.
likeness is taken. I think it was either 4 or 5 years ago. It was up to 40 times a day just by you going outside, walking past somebody's doorbell camera, going to the ATM, walking into a store, walking down a major street. Like your picture's always being taken. Your face is already out there. So to reel that back is impossible now. So if it was 45 years ago, it's probably over 100 times now that your picture is taken. If you go to a major sporting event, guess what? It's probably
Mhm.
20 times that
Yeah.
because everybody has a camera attached to their phone and they're taking pictures and what have you, video and things of that nature. Your likeness and image is out there for anyone who would like to gather it. Like whether you're on social media or not, it does not matter. Like even when it came to the January 6th stuff, like when they were trying to roll people up, you know what they used? Images from people's cameras and as well as cellular data. So they knew where people were at.
Mhm.
Like one guy was arrested for arson. He was like, I wasn't there. I didn't do it. And it wasn't even his phone. It was someone else's phone had taken a picture of him in his stairwell with the inflammatory stuff in his hands. So you
Mhm.
got caught because somebody else took a picture of you, right? So it's nothing you can really, you can't put the genie back in the bottle on this one. So you can either opt in or not opt in, which I'm completely fine with as well. Like it should not be mandatory per se if people really feel uncomfortable. But then you go to the long line, just like people who don't pay. I don't even know what TSA pre-check is because the military did it for me, right? So I haven't done it as a civilian. Let's say $100 a year, something like that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to spend that, which is absolutely fine, then you get into the longer line, and then that it is what it is. But when you fly international, guess what happens? When you go through checkpoints and things of that nature, like when I went
Yeah,
to Israel, they they scanned my face, and nothing I could do about it.
Japan
Like, do I want to
Japan
enter?
does it.
Yeah,
China
or
does
do I want to
it.
go
They all
back
do
home?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the way of the future, unfortunately or fortunately. I like it because it does expedite things and it will catch criminals.
Go ahead, Chen. You wanted to say something. I'll go next.
So I do, because for this, for being for sporting events though, who knows what these billionaires and multimillionaires are gonna sell this information off for, right? And you bring up a good point in that
But they're not. The article says they're not selling it to third parties. Not now,
that's
at
what they're
least.
saying right now.
That
Exactly,
that's what it's
exactly,
yeah.
Daniel. You know, not right now, not right now. Like it's only a matter of time before it's like, hey, we can make more money with this, doing this, that, and the third, right? Like I'm fairly certain that all these places that are getting this third party information, it started out that way, where it's like, we will not sell your info, you know what I mean? But then we end up finding out that we are valuable as the commodity, right? And what we
Yeah.
not necessarily what we are, but what our habits are when it comes to shopping. You know what I mean? And
I
here's
see that.
another, yeah. And here's another thing I have with this, right? Another problem I have with this, right? Like when it comes to facial recognition, when it comes to people that look like Ryan and I, it's not exactly the most accurate, right? No, I'm being
Yeah,
serious
that's
though,
very
right? So
true.
like
That's
It's
very
true.
true.
the technology is not advanced enough to where it'll distinguish, when it comes to people of color that are of a darker shade, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
next thing you know, I'm the Pepsi can killer because some fingerprints are on a Pepsi can next to a body in a park somewhere. You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
funny,
Like,
but
Did you just come up with that? Because that is a you should write that.
no, 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 no. Let's give. I'm gonna give Patrice his props, right? Like, so Patrice O'Neill's a comedian that talked about this, right? Like, so,
that's
but
pretty funny.
but yeah. So like, no, it's the technology is not where it needs to be for it to be fully implemented and put out elsewhere, right? But Ryan, you do bring up a good point, right? Like anyone who wants to vote has to have some type of identification that a state sponsored entity has taken your picture. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. No, the only thing I was gonna say, thinking of it from a security perspective, not even like cybersecurity, just from a security perspective, I think it's initiative in a good direction. Maybe I say this because like I have other friends that have worked in the areas of, like cybersecurity, pen testing, blue and red team, purple teaming, all that kind of stuff. And some of them, delve into a little eccentricism where they go way out of their way to make sure whatever is on their personal laptop is on their personal laptop, right? And that they cannot be attained by a network and like all this kind of stuff. But it gets to the point to where I'm thinking like, what are you actually hiding that you're that paranoid that you don't want anybody to see it? I think about this the same way. Like I don't have anything to hide, knock on wood, like, nothing bad or good. So I'm not too worried if they have my face, right? And if it's gonna save somebody by catching somebody that is doing something really bad and they can't find them, I feel like that's a good thing. Now, maybe I'm a little bit too naive and like, color roses and, everything's great in the world, but I feel like if we can get somebody that we haven't been able to caught because somebody's taking a selfie and they're capturing this guy in the background and they're able to mobilize and get him, I think that's a plus. That's a win.
So it works the other way too. I don't know if you guys ever saw this thing. It was this guy that got accused of murder that was at a Dodgers game or something like that. I want to say it was a Netflix thing, but like he was getting questioned. He was arrested, and they were like, "We know it's you," because like people were putting him there. And the TV show Curb Your Enthusiasm just happened. Maybe it was a Yankees game. No, it was a Dodgers game. Curb Your Enthusiasm happened to be filming that day, right? And they have this guy on camera in some of their B-roll that didn't make the show. They cleared him because somebody else had a camera, a production crew had a camera, and was like, "This guy is here at this time. He was not here where this murder took place." So it can go both ways, and I get it. I want killers caught too, Daniel. I'm right there with you, man. Like I'm standing behind the police officers, like, "Yeah, lock him up, lock him up." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not at a rally. I'm behind law enforcement, but still, I still, even after this, and like, good points, Ryan. You brought up some very good points, and like, you're like, "Hey, it's already out there. I get it," but I still don't know where I stand. Like, I don't know where I want to be with this.
But I think you just can't have your cake and eat it too. Not you specifically,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think the person who is saying like, I don't want this facial recognition thing to even exist, and go to the game and tag yourself as being there, right? Like do the
yeah,
check-in through Facebook and
yeah.
say, hey, I'm at the Dodgers game or whatever.
Right.
Like you can't have both,
We're
or you
living, we're
could,
living in the future.
but
Yeah. We're living in the future. It's too late, people. If you don't want to be out there, you got to go live in the forest or something. That's it. It's too late.
yeah. So the bougie story, real quick. I'm gonna try to keep it short. So I had a friend win tickets to the Bucks game, right? It was like Bucks versus Ravens. It was like a preseason game or something like that. I can't remember. It was box tickets. So they
Mm.
wanted, they couldn't go. They gifted it to me and Junior. We went, and like you show up with your phone. It already has your QR code, and you go in through the line that you never noticed before because it's so short. You scan your little code or whatever, and it leads you through some doors. They open the doors up for you. Say, hey, Mr. Williams, how are you doing? Yada yada yada. Like, how do you know who I am? Because I scanned the thing, right? They're expecting
Yeah.
me. They put you in a private elevator to get away from all the peasants, right? And then you go up to your box seats where you're sitting. Like I don't even know. Like the angle was like perfect. It was like I was there. I was in. I was playing football. It was so close. You got your little private area, and they bring you, candy and popcorn and free beer and all that other stuff. And I was like, this is the way life should be. And then I googled how much those tickets would have cost me to have those box tickets, and I was like, life won't be like this anytime soon. Unless I hit the lotto, it's not going to happen. But the experience was amplified by RFID and other things of that nature, right? Because it kind of gives you an experience like going to Disney or something like that, right? Like they know who you are, they know some of your preferences, things of that nature. So I can only imagine if I was a season ticket holder, how much more luxurious that experience would have been. So that's what they're trying to get us to, where you show up to an event and they tailor it to you and they know who you are, things of that nature, because they're trying to sell you stuff. So that is the future. Like you are a commodity. So this is what they're kind of going towards, for good or for bad. But I can just see this one going a step further in that like they'll know what I wear now, so they can like send me certain brands and things of that nature as well. So it will amplify consumerism over time. So that's my only negative point about it. But I liked it. It was a magical experience. I'm not even a Bucks fan. I'm a Bills fan. I was like, this is nice. So, but that's all I got. So definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays ask a CISSP, Fridays everything else. Hit up all the websites that go by our name. Give me a person at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on all the platforms. And where can they find you, Daniel?
On LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.